Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader The Infinite Museion DLC number 3 is now out for the full month, and it's time that we do full companion rankings from worst to best. And what I'm gonna compare in this video is not only the builds and their power on unfair difficulty, I'm putting everything on a table here, from presentation, writing, story, how important companion is in the game, all the way up to the actual gameplay. So a full package, and then we rank them by importance. Let's not waste time, let's go. Number 13, Marazhai, Drukhari, Drakon, Marazhai as the worst companion in the game. First of all, from the story aspect, he hates Iconoclast, he hates heretics, and he despises dogmatic. Everything that you play, Marazhai hates. Marazhai hates life. Marazhai hates demon as well. Marazhai hates the universe. Marazhai hates absolutely everything there is. He's a complete maniac, masochist, and sodomizer. Marazhai, even though that he has some funny quotes in a game, is really not important that much for the main progression of the story after the Komora phase, and for sure all other companions also dislike him. Frankly, Marazhai needs his own game, because in Rogue Trader, his class is not as powerful as those of other companions, because Marazhai is very squishy, he's gotta get in, he waits for his turn, he doesn't have high initiative no matter what you pick, he's an assassin, he picks his targets, he's a snake, a literal snake, both in writing and in gameplay, and that's why spot number 13, even though I find most of conversations with Marazhai extremely funny. That's the only positive side, by the way. Number 12, Idira. Why is Idira so bad? Because she's chaotic, okay? Her storyline is quite good and it actually drags all the way up to Act 4. And you can tell how Psykers live their lives according to Idira throughout the entire gameplay, and how bad the life of a Psyker actually is. From the part of the storytelling, she's nice, but when the combat starts, as you can win easily with Idira as a Psyker, and she's got a lot of useful abilities, that's also how easily you can lose. With only one bad move, she triggers chaos, chaos spawns, and the entire fight goes to hell. That's why Idira is so low. Number 11, Solomorne. Solomorne, even though he acts as a cop, a main cop on a ship, once he gets on a void ship that is, from the part of his storyline, it's more like a fan service than the actual companion that matters in the game. Yes, the game introduces Arbites. Yes, there's tons of cool quests during that DLC with Solomorne. I think the name of the DLC back then was Lex Imperialis. And yes, having a shotgun and a shield is extremely fun. It's very nice when you can do attacks of opportunity with a shotgun. And having a Cyber Mastiff is even more fun, but that's the class Overseer, the same class archetype that you could also use for the main Rogue Trader, yeah. And that same archetype Overseer has Raven and Eagle, as well as Servoskull. And Eagle is just the freaking best in the entire game. It's not a dog. The dog, Cyber Mastiff, might be the best looking one and the most fun, but the Eagle is the one for the combat. Solomorne, no matter how you build him, just came out, if you ask me, way too late to be actually valid in a team. And for my part, I never had any connection with Solomorne. I never felt the addition of a companion like he's important for the story, because he's really not. Number 10, Eogunn. Same like what I said for Solomorne, it's slightly better for Eogunn. Why? We already had a tech priest named Pasqal that everyone loved and liked. And now here comes another tech priest, and this time it's insane. Or should I say Eogunn is completely insane, and that's his storyline, which is quite good, by the way. Eogunn reminds me a lot on Jubilast from Pathfinder Kingmaker. You know, a classic nerd with silly talking, and he just can't stop talking throughout the entire campaign. And yes, way much more detail went into Eogunn and the content that he produced during the Infinite Museion, cause with Eogunn came augmentations, with augmentations came Asien, and bunch of new quests. And also quest for the Eogunn is quite good, his own personal quest, well written quest. One of the better stories as far as companion quests goes to Eogunn. Now as far as combat goes, he's got his own set of abilities, but why is he so freaking low? Cause others are more powerful with their set of abilities, especially in the endgame. In the early game, Eogunn, yeah, he's quite strong, but as the game moves onwards, he becomes weaker, and at the end he just becomes a regular officer, cause there is no need for him to deal damage, shoot, or I don't know what. He's just there to buff up additional buffs from the tech mechanic on top of the buffs from the officer. And also, because he came in so late and because he talks way too much, I never felt any connection to Eogunn as I felt it with Pasqal while I was playing. Number 9, Ulfar. Why is he so low? If he is a space wolf, a space marine, and a freaking beast. The reason is very simple, he comes way too late. When you reach Komora, you're basically on 60% of the game, you know, when you free Ulfar. And then you can play the rest 40% of the game with him, yeah. His quest is phenomenal with space wolves, and especially during Act 4 final phase when you evade Euphrates II. It's really phenomenal to have Ulfar there. He now finally feels like a true space wolf. He's not as squishy as he used to be during the pre-release, but I still keep him on number 9. Why? Again, I really believe Ulfar came in way too late. If Ulfar was introduced during Act 1 or Prologue, or even during Act 2, maybe there would be better connection between players and a companion. But when they come so freaking late, it's not the same feeling anymore, because you got connection with companions that came first from Prologue, and that's exactly the same rule for every single CRPG in the existence. Developers, I believe they never learn, even though if they think it's cool to get those companions from Act to Act like something new. In the meantime, players get connected to those that came first, and then they ditch those aside that comes second, yeah. Aside from that, in combat, Ulfar is quite useful, especially if you go with a full tank build with melee damage mostly, where you switch between sword and kick and get extra movement points and action points and whatnot. He does feel like a space wolf, but again, his damage is not as OP as the damage for the others that gonna come after Ulfar. And he is definitely the second strongest tank in a game. Number 8, the Inquisitor, Heinrix von Kellogg's, Orthodox Xenos Inquisitor that didn't know Lord Xenos for the full 2 years until they finally changed him, and now he knows about Lord Xenos skill checks. Jokes aside, Heinrix is introduced in Act 1, he is extremely important for the story until the very end, from start to finish. This is how you do a proper companion. And this is how you do the proper storyline for the companion that has his own personal quest that's directly connected to the late endgame quest, main quest of the Rogue Trader. Also, he acts like a main Inquisitor on a ship. You can give Xenos to him or heretics, cause he is a Inquisitor after all. And no matter how you put it, Heinrix is always involved in the main story. So Heinrix is one of the better companions as far as quotes go, conversations, and the overall impact on the entire game. But he's got one problem compared now to the other companions that will come after him. He's not as strong as others. Why? Because he's a dodgy dual-wielding Psyker hybrid. Yes, you can play him as full melee and ignore Psyker, or you can go full Psyker and ignore melee, or you go with hybrid and whatnot, but he never feels as strong as when you create a character with flat Psyker, hybrid, or flat dual-wielding melee. He's also quite bad at skill checks, no matter what you do. But he's also useful in combat, especially on unfair difficulty, because biomancy buffs are extremely strong, and he's also a sanctic, and sancting buffs are also extremely strong, but if you go with that, you're gonna lose on damage. If you go on damage, you're gonna lose on powers, and vice versa. That's why spot number 8. Number 7, the biggest tank in a game, Seneschal, Abelard, Verserian, my personal favorite character in a game by far. Out of all companions, I like Abelard the most, even though he's a classic basic first companion like in every CRPG, okay? A tanky good guy. Abelard is just... I could not even imagine Rogue Trader without Abelard. He's there from the very first minute of the game till the very end of the game with a Rogue Trader. Extremely important for the story. As far as combat goes, he carries hard during Act 1, Act 2. After that, as every other melee, he becomes useless cause ranged characters are just OP compared to melees. Melees never have a chance to kill and play on unfair. So until the game gets balanced, Abelard must remain on spot number 7 because he's not useful enough. He's great for the skill checks, athletics, carouse, etc. Number 6, Jaya Heydari. Even though I heavily dislike Jaya and her storyline and how she acts and her character in total, I dislike everything about her to be honest. I still placed her on spot number 6. Why? Officer. Master Tactician Officer, man, OP class. She buffs the entire team like crazy. Like, I doubt there is a better class than Master Tactician. There is one better class than Master Tactician, by the way, and it's coming up soon. But I had to be fair. Jaya is just great to have in a team. Number 5, Heydari Yrliet, the only valid sniper, true sniper bounty hunter in the game. Heydari's story is extremely important for the Rogue Trader story as well, all the way until Act 3. And what's even most important, she is the main focus of the entire Act 3. Her sniper is freaking nuts. Heydari weapons are freaking nuts. If supported well by an officer, she can shoot 7-8 times in a round with that sniper and deal tremendous amount of damage. You don't know when she's stronger, to be honest. During Act 2, 3, 4, 5, she just scales like crazy, and that's why Yrliet is so freaking high. Even though I dislike her as a character, because I am for humanity, I'm not for Xenos, I guess, but still, she's very, very strong. And now we come to the giants of companions. Number 4 would be our tech magesh Pasqal. He dropped a bit in my eyes. The reason, because those upcoming 3 are freaking OP. Pasqal is also bloody great, by the way. He got buffed and he's still behind in terms of power. Now you can play Pasqal as a melee assassin, you can play him as a bruiser, you can play him as an overseer with eagle, with servo skull, you can play him with plasmas, you can play him with meltas, you can play him with a newly added arc rifle, and it's so bloody fun to play with arc rifle. I had a lot of fun with Pasqal. Pasqal is the strongest companion in Act 1 and all the way until mid Act 2. Absolutely the most powerful companion in the game for early game. Omega carry is Arc Rifle Overseer Pasqal. None is stronger than Pasqal, but he falls off later on. And that's why the spot number 4. As far as the story goes, there is no funnier guy on a ship than Pasqal. He's absolutely nuts. I love conversations with Pasqal, all of his quotes. Basically everywhere where Pasqal appears, laugh follows. Extremely well done companion. Number 3, Maniac Kibellah. Kibellah came, I think, with the very first DLC, if I remember well, and it was a great DLC, but why is Kibellah so high? because of her class. Dancer, Executioner, just I don't know what to say. It has to be nerfed, and that's why she's so freaking high. You can clear 3 screens of enemies if you know how to play, believe it or not. As far as the story goes, she's nuts. I don't know how else to put it. She's got a good story, but she is a maniac. And I'm not a personal fan of maniacs. Number 2, once the most powerful companion, Cassia or Celio, ended on number 2. You can already guess who's number 1, and I'll say why is it so. So Cassia got nerfed, or should I say she finally got balanced, but she's still the only navigator in the game, extremely useful. Bunch of navigator spells that are just irreplaceable in a game, and you don't know which one is better. To move enemies around, to control time, to remove warps, to give buffs, dodge, damage, willpower to allies, to debuff enemies, to remove their health, to curse them, like Cassia is insane, and then you add officer spells, and then on top of it all, you add combat mods from Grand Strategist, and she always plays first. Like, even though she got balanced, she's still freaking nuts. And I forgot her AoE damage. And as part as the story goes, story doesn't revolve in this game without Cassia. Cassia is extremely important for the story. She's well written. She's got great canvas. She is just a pure masterpiece. Cassia is now nearly 3 years sitting here on my table and navigating everything that I do. I love Cassia. She's absolutely brilliant. And number 1, the broken Argentina. Argenta is insane. She's extremely funny in conversations. She's extremely funny with her quotes. She has huge impact on the main story, like the biggest impact probably, because everything happened because of Argenta, basically. You know what she did to Theodora. Not only that she's important for the main story, she's also the best one in combat as well. She's just freaking nuts. She needs a nerf. I one-shotted all main bosses on every act in a game with Argenta. Or should I say, I multi-shotted them with burst shot. She's freaking insane. And that's why she's number 1. There is no discussion. There is no comparison. Now, no one is stronger than Argenta. Not even Trazyn. It's insane. She's completely insane. That would be my ranking of all 13 companions in a game. Of course, I excluded Winterscale, Shorda, and all of those other secret companions that literally should not even be in a game. And that's why I excluded them from this entire list. Tell me what you think about top 13. Do you agree, disagree, and why? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See ya on the next one. Thanks for watching.